Welcome to my witch's lair. Today we will go beyond the veil into the other realms, where we will find out what your spiritual gifts are, what psychic gifts you have yet to unlock, as well as any additional messages from the spirit realm. But first, I do want to elaborate what this intuitive system is. What does it even mean to go beyond the veil? As well as what clues to look for when you're picking up on your psychic information. You are a living, energetic system. One of the main reasons we can sense energy is for our own survival. Our limbic system will alert us before our conscious mind is even aware that there's danger in the environment. So if you think about it this way, in the basement, there are unconscious workers sifting through piles of data. Meanwhile, there are a board of executives at the top examining which parts to keep in order to construct the story and how we perceive our reality. So there's this intricate dance between the conscious and the unconscious. Our sensory system processes different types of information through a constellation of perceptions, sensations, and thoughts. So some of us have a highly sensitive nervous system, and we possess a unique way of experiencing the world. And so it's like having a heightened emotional radar, being finely tuned to the subtleties of life. So we may pick up on some nuances that others may overlook. In a brief, oversimplified explanation, when we talk about going beyond the veil is nothing that's outside of you. The veil is created between your mind and your brain. So our whole body is a receiver for energy on different wavelengths. And if we think about our brain as a radio, it's tuning in to different frequencies and picking out which information is relevant for us. Now imagine if we didn't have this filter system. It would be like tuning into all of the radio stations all at once, where we wouldn't be able to pick out any relevant information because it would just all be noise. So it's your brain's job to create this barrier between you and that realm, because that information isn't relevant to you in this life. I had to blow out my candles because they were spilling over. Next, I want to real lightly touch on the concept of dimensions, because this is such a rabbit hole in itself, but short story of this. So dimensions occupy the same space. It's the here and now. And they are layered within one another, and these are the different states of consciousness. We constantly weave in and out of these states, but we're just not able to perceive it. However, we can experience these dimensions through meditation, hypnosis, prayer, lucid dreaming, hallucinogenic plants. So there are different modalities and ways to access these other dimensions. Now, in regards to your psychic abilities, you have to build up your psychic system, and this is connected to your nervous system. It requires a person to be grounded and stabilized enough so that they can filter what they're perceiving without being overwhelmed, because you might get some unsettling images and it can easily turn into paranoia. But don't freak out, because we naturally have safeguards in place in case we are not ready to experience these otherworldly experiences. Especially if there's any resistance in the self, the system won't allow you to open up until there's a level of maturity where you've been working on your self-development and self-growth, processing and integrating and healing, and then that's when you can unlock certain gifts. So here are some guideposts on what to look for when perceiving psychic information. You may receive visual images. Some people talk about movies playing out, or sometimes they'll hear sounds or music even though nothing externally or audibly is playing around them. You could receive complete thought forms, otherwise known as downloads. It's like an aha moment, and all of a sudden a concept is fully formed in your mind, just like that. You could also see symbols in your mind's eye, or colors or auras. You may experience physical sensations, like certain areas of your body becoming hot and cold. Tingling sensations. Some people talk about when, like for instance, mediums or channelers talk about when a spirit comes in, there's like a shift in the frequency, and so sometimes their ears will ring a certain register, like a certain pitch, but I'll really be careful with that if you have tinnitus. I don't want to always like, oh, it's just a spirit, and you're like, no, you should go check that out. But that's just another example of like physical sensations you might feel. You could also all of a sudden become overcome with feelings that aren't yours, that just appears out of nowhere. You may be connecting to higher realms during sleep or deep states of meditation. So these are just a few things that could go on for psychic phenomena. I believe we are all psychic and intuitive to some capacity. We just have to nurture it and develop the subtle awareness to recognize it. So let's find out what some of those psychic gifts are. Head on over to my YouTube channel, The Neuro Mystic, and we'll look further into some of these questions and find out more.